The Game of Thrones TV show very closely follows George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire novels, but there are still tons of differences between the show and the books, especially in recent seasons. Since there's not enough time in this video to go through every change they've made, I've gone and found the 10 craziest differences between the Game of Thrones TV show and the books. There will obviously be spoilers, so don't watch this video if you're not fully caught up. Number 10. Lady Stoneheart. So the last time we saw Catelyn Stark, she wasn't having the best of days. Cat unfortunately witnesses her firstborn son being stabbed to death and then gets her throat sliced open by Black Walder. In the show, that's pretty much the end of the road for her. However, in the books, Catelyn is resurrected by Lord Beric Dondarrion, who gives his life for hers through the rite known as the Last Kiss. Catelyn's wounds only partially heal, however, leaving her mutilated and without the ability to speak. She becomes consumed with a desire for vengeance over her family's betrayal and murder. Cat thereby becomes known as Lady Stoneheart and assumes command of the Brotherhood Without Banners. While leading the Brotherhood, Stoneheart's outlaws come upon a small party led by Brienne of Tarth, who informs her that she is searching for Sansa at the behest of Jaime Lannister. Stoneheart says that Brienne has turned traitor, as she carries Oathkeeper, a Lannister sword forged from the Stark Valyrian steel blade Ice. Brienne swears she is still faithful, but Stoneheart insists that she must prove it, and says, "Take the sword and slay the Kingslayer, or be hanged for a betrayer." Brienne refuses, but just before she, Hal Hunt, and Podrick Payne are to be executed, she shouts out "Sword," thereby saving their lives. Number 9. Mance Rayder. Mance Rayder's death in the series is exactly as it is in the books, except in the books, he doesn't really die. Having been burnt at the stake and put out of his misery by the mercy of Jon Snow's arrow, it later emerges in the books that the victim was not Mance Rayder at all, but rather the wildling general Rattleshirt, whom Melisandre had used magic to disguise. Mance Rayder is then instrumental in Theon's escape from the Boltons at Winterfell. Later, it is reported in a letter to Jon, purportedly from Ramsay Bolton, that Mance has been captured. Ramsay claims that Mance has been thrown in a cage which is exposed to the elements, and that the 6 spearwives that came with him have been killed and skinned. Mance is allegedly being forced to use their sewed together skins in the cage as his only source of warmth. Number 8. Ramsay and Sansa. This is one of the most obvious and certainly one of the most controversial changes from the books. In George R.R. Martin's version of events, the Lannisters pass off a Stark family friend, Jane Poole, to the Boltons as collateral for an important alliance, convincing the Boltons that Jane is actually Arya. In HBO's Game of Thrones, the only time we ever see Jane is in the series premiere. Instead, Sansa herself marries Ramsay Bolton in Season 5 as a way for Littlefinger to increase his power. Keeping with the theme of the novels, in which Ramsay holds Jane hostage and relentlessly tortures her, in the show he rapes Sansa while Theon watches on in horror. Number 7. Ramsay is way worse in the books. So I think we can all agree Ramsay was a very bad dude. He flayed his victims, murdered Roose Bolton, fed Walda and her baby to his dogs, and chopped off Theon's dick. I mean, that's pretty much the worst thing that can ever happen to a man. If your little buddy ever gets detached from your body, it's game over. Period. But despite all these things, the book version of Ramsay Bolton is an even crueler and more frightening character. In the books, Ramsay kills all of Roose Bolton's sons because they were a threat to him becoming the heir to House Bolton. He also rapes, flays, and kills the woman he hunts. If they were a good sport about it, he would flay them after they were already dead, but if they didn't give him much sport, he obviously flayed them alive. If that's not enough, the book version of Ramsay forces his wife, Jane Poole, to have sex with his dogs. Just imagine if they put that one in the show. All I know is Sansa got off real fucking easy. And finally, in addition to mutilating Theon's dick, Ramsay also cut off 4 of his toes and 3 of his fingers. Just fucking brutal. Number 6. Jojen Reed. Jojen Reed met his end on the show when a very sneaky wight stabbed him multiple times in the chest. Mira mercifully cuts his throat, and a child of the forest destroys Jojen's body to prevent any reanimation. In A Dance with Dragons, Jojen Reed survives the White attack and meets the Three-Eyed Crow, but soon after, Jojen falls into a depressed state and wants to go home to Greywater Watch. In a conversation with Bran, Mira implies that Jojen has had a green dream of his fate when he returns home. Supposedly, green dreams do not lie, and Jojen's return home means almost certain death. Number 5. Aegon Targaryen. One of the most surprising developments in A Dance with Dragons was the reveal that Aegon Targaryen was still alive. Supposedly dashed against a wall by the mountain as a baby, Aegon was secretly whisked away by Varys and placed in the hands of several trusted allies to educate him in the ways of the world, and to prepare him to reclaim the throne for House Targaryen. Not only does the presence of another Targaryen further muddy the line of succession to the Iron Throne, it also gives us a proper answer as to just what Varys and his schemes have been for all this time. It seems like it may have been one development too far for the show though, as there's no indication of the series covering it. Number 4. Shireen. This tragic sequence was one of the most buzzed about moments of Season 5, both because of the depravity of the moment, and because it's just something that hasn't happened in the books, yet. Stannis Baratheon's daughter Shireen was, in so many ways, a rare symbol of light and goodness in the Game of Thrones world. So it was especially cruel when he chose to take heed of Melisandre's warning and sacrifice her to increase his power. He burned his own daughter alive and stood by as she screamed and begged for her life. How heartless can you get? Nothing like this moment has happened in Martin's Westeros, which has fans speculating as to whether the show just released a major spoiler for future books. Number 3. Jorah Mormont. Just as in the show, Jorah is a spy for the Lannisters who was told that providing information on her whereabouts would end his exile. However, he falls in love with Daenerys, asks for her hand, and attempts to kiss her in the books. Each time she puts him off. When she learns of his betrayal, she sends him on a dangerous mission to marine that he survives. Daenerys is ready to forgive Jorah's espionage, but she exiles him for undermining her leadership. Like in the show, Jorah encounters Tyrion and attempts to bring him back to Daenerys to get back in her good graces, but during their journey to Meereen, they are captured and ultimately end up with the Second Sons. One final important thing to note is that there is no indication of Jorah being infected with grayscale in the books. Number 2. Tyrion's journey to Meereen. In the books, when Tyrion flees King's Landing after killing his father, he doesn't leave with Varys. He recuperates with Illyrio Mopatis as seen in the show, but he sets off for Meereen not with Varys, but with a set of traveling companions that include two named Griff and Young Griff. He later finds out that Young Griff is actually Aegon Targaryen, son of Rhaegar Targaryen, which makes him Daenerys' nephew. Tyrion convinces him to turn away from Daenerys and lead an attack with his small army on Westeros, which is a tactic Aegon later adopts, heading for the Stormlands. Number 1. Bronn. As the seasons have progressed, Bronn has become somewhat of a main character in the show. After saving Tyrion's life in the trial by combat, Bronn marries Lolly Stokeworth in an attempt to eventually inherit Castle Stokeworth, but his plans of becoming a nobleman are cut short when Jaime arrives and basically forces Bronn to help him retrieve Myrcella. This is where the show and the books differ. In the books, Bronn never gets a visit from Jaime enlisting his help. Instead, Lady Tonda Stokeworth informs Cersei that Bronn has named his wife Lolly's bastard son Tyrion, in dubious honor of his former employer. Bronn soon takes 4 knights into his household, although Sir Balman Birch tells Cersei that they are up-jumped sellswords, with not a thimbleful of chivalry to be found amongst the 4 of them. This leads Queen Cersei to fear that he is still in league with Tyrion, and causes Cersei to conspire with Bronn's good sister False Stokeworth and her husband Balman to have Bronn killed. Sir Balman then challenges Bronn to a duel, but Bronn kills Balman using dirty tactics. Claiming to be Lord Stokeworth, he expels Lady False from Castle Stokeworth. After the death of False at the hands of Qyburn, Lollys becomes the official Lady of Stokeworth with Bronn as her lord. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned some interesting new things about the differences between the Game of Thrones books and the show. Please leave a like, please subscribe, and leave a comment telling me if you want a part 2 to this video, as I couldn't fit all the differences in this short time frame. Alright, peace!